Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? My name is Blair, and I'm happy to be with you guys here today on our STEM NOLA live sessions on Thursdays. Today, our live session is going to cover biology, and right now we're going to hear a word from our CEO, Dr. Calvin Mackey.
And I'm happy to have you all tuning in. As a little background, we founded STEM NOLA 7 years ago to expose and inspire and engage communities in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. In the last 7 years, we've engaged over 50,000 K-12 students, over 12,000 families, and over 1,500 college students and STEM professionals. One thing that I'm proud to say is that we've put over $1 million in the hands of college students over the last 7 years serving as college interns with STEM NOLA, going out and engaging the community. So thank you for tuning in. Parents, thank you for believing in STEM NOLA and trusting us with your most prized possession, your child, your scholar. STEM NOLA believe that either we're training ourselves from the neck up or the neck down. In the 21st century, our children will only have one or three options. Either they're gonna take something, break something, and/or make something. And if we don't give them the skills and education to make something, like make a living, make a life, make a difference, it only leaves them with the two options that we see on the news every night, and that's to take and break. I don't want that for my two children, and I know you don't want that for yours, and that's why we're here today to expose our children to the possibilities of the 21st century. This is my friend. This is Alpha. Alpha is a humanoid. A humanoid is a robot that tries to act like a human. This humanoid has 9 servos and can do pretty much anything physically that a human can do. This is our competitor in the 21st century. Alpha can actually do push-ups. Alpha can even show off.
Wow.
And Alpha can even dance. And like any superhero, Alpha has her own music. This is the machine. And the automatic machine in the 21st century will displace many workers. In the aftermath of COVID, you have to believe that there are many companies out there saying never again will we allow a pandemic or something that happened in nature shut us down. So COVID has exacerbated the possibilities of machines displacing people. If you're competing against Alpha, you will not win. The only way we defeat Alpha is by developing our heart and developing our head, training ourselves from the neck up such that we can control the robots so that the robots will not control us. That's why we're here. That's why STEM NOLA exists. That's why your parents want to make sure that you all participate in events like this so you can know the possibilities of the 21st century. Again, I'm Dr. Calvin Mackey, and I want to say thank you for tuning in. Now let's get busy innovating, creating, and making with STEM NOLA. Thank you.
Check. All right. Now we're going to have a few words from our STEM professional, Natalie Sarbar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie. I'm just here to, good. I'm just here to tell you a bit about myself and also talk a bit about creativity in science and commitment to anything that you are learning. I think that was kind of a good transition into my talk. Actually, Dr. Mackey talking about the humanoid. Creativity, the brain and the heart are really what differentiate us as humans. And I think that biology is a really great way to develop those skills. I'm originally from New York. I've been in New Orleans for a little over a year now. I'm a second-year medical student at Tulane. Before that, I studied neuroscience, which is really similar to psychology and biology put together at Colorado College, and I also did minors in physics and chemistry. While I was there, I did some research on yeast and bacteria. The research in yeast was looking at mating type switching, which sounds really confusing, but you could kind of think of it like if you have a bunch of males and not many females, if it's yeast, the males can actually turn to females, so they're able to mate and proliferate or develop more of their species. So I was looking at that, and then I also did some research with bacteria. So this is all pretty different research or projects than what you're going to do today. but I know you're going to be working with marshmallows and teeth as well as the root systems. And that is an amazing thing about biology. It encapsulates so many different things. Biology is the science of life. And I also think biology really bridges the sciences and the humanities. So one thing that I'm really excited about going into medicine is I can look at a person and I can understand them from a biological perspective. But when I'm talking to them about medication or taking vaccines or things like that, I also have to see them as a human and understand where they are at in their understanding of biology to properly communicate information with them. So I think biology gives us a really great opportunity to feel inspired. It explains why a caterpillar is able to turn into a butterfly. It can explain how we can more sustainably be farming so that we have enough food for the future. It relates to human health. And there are also things that you can do on the bridge of biology and psychology and social work. So obviously working at a nonprofit like STEM NOLA, or in the room right next to me, actually my boyfriend is at a meeting where he works, which is BSCS, which is basically a think tank for biology curriculum that is working on making the curriculum more inclusive. So that's about all I have about biology, the science of life. One thing that I do like to talk about is when you're learning it at a young age, sometimes you're reading textbooks or you're taking notes, and that's really important. You need to memorize certain ideas, but then you need to question those and learn beyond that. And that's why I think getting involved in STEM NOLA now is just such a great opportunity, because it allows you to do that critical thinking and to do hands-on science. And so I do have two quotes for you. One is from Indra Nooyi, who was the CEO of PepsiCo. And she said, whatever you do, throw yourself into it, throw your head, heart, and hands into it. And so today you are doing a lab in biology. Another day with STEM NOLA, you might do a lab in physics or chemistry. And I really want you to get engaged with that and commit all that you can. And then finally, a quote from Mae Jemison, who was the first African-American female astronaut. And she is also a doctor and a dancer. She said, scientists provide an understanding of a universal experience. Arts are a universal understanding of a personal experience. They are both a part of us and a manifestation of the same thing. The arts and the sciences are avatars of human creativity. And so, like I've said, I want you to embrace your creativity with science today, but I also know that not everyone who participates in STEM NOLA is going to go on and work in the sciences, but you can still use those skills and the creativity that you develop from doing labs here in whatever field you choose to pursue. So have so much fun today, and thank you for letting me speak for you. One day I look forward to getting to do something in person with STEM NOLA, but until then, all the best.
All right. Thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you so much. All right, so guys, now we're gonna be doing our STEM activities for today, and I'm gonna invite our presenter up, but before I do that, I'm gonna put my mask on, and here we go. All right, and our presenter today is gonna be Miss Haley, so all right.
Good job.
You too, good luck.
All right, hi guys. My name is Haley Williams, and today I'll be facilitating today's activities. I am a junior at Howard University, and I'm majoring in biology. So I'm very excited to do these activities because they kind of relate to what I'm studying and what I want to do when I get older. So before we get into the activities, I'll go over kind of how the day is going to flow. First, we're going to talk about a few vocabulary terms that are relevant to the topic, and then I'll explain the objective of the activity. We'll then begin the two activities, which are root science and then marshmallow teeth, and then I'll ask you guys a couple of questions just to see how much you've learned. And if you have any questions for me, then I'll answer them as well, and then that'll be the end. So first, we've got a vocabulary term. We have bone. Bone is any of the pieces of hard whitish tissue making up the skeleton in humans and other vertebrates. So I'm sure all of you guys know what bones are. You feel them in your arms, your legs. And today you're going to kind of learn about a special type of bone that you probably didn't even realize was a bone, which is your teeth. So next we have plaque, and that's a sticky deposit on your teeth in which bacteria proliferate. So plaque, if you ever see your teeth a little bit yellowish, or if you feel your teeth with your fingers, which is kind of gross, but you feel a little substance, that's the plaque. Then you have xylem. It's the vascular tissue in plants that conducts water and dissolve nutrients upward from the root, and also helps to form the woody element in the stem. So xylem, I would say, is similar to like a highway system. So the xylem allows the plant to receive all of its water and nutrients so that the plant can sustain and live. Because once again, plants are living beings just like us, and they need water, sunlight, and nutrients to survive. Lastly, we have phlegm. It's the living tissue and vascular plants that transports the soluble organic compounds made during photosynthesis. So phlegm is just the specific highway system that transports the nutrients to the plant. All right, so here's our first question. True or false? Teeth are bones. What do you guys think? All right, so far you guys are so smart. I kind of gave it away in the beginning, but yep, the majority said teeth are bones. That is true. Something I just learned recently. All right, next. So the objective of today, I can still see the agenda question. All right, so the objective, you will understand the meaning of the terms bone, plaque, xylem, and phlegm, and be able to apply them to the project correctly. You will learn how to make a marshmallow teeth model last, but first we're going to begin with root science. And here's another question we have. Are we experimenting with force and motion, wind, or biology? Think about what Miss Natalie was talking about a few seconds ago. All of the terms I've mentioned. Right? You guys are listening. Great. Biology. And once again, biology is the study of all living things. So that's humans, animals, plants. All right, so these are our 3 questions of the day. If you want, you can take a picture or write them down, because once we've completed both activities, I'll ask you guys these questions just to see what you've learned. All right, so first we're going to begin with root science. All right, so what you'll need: paper towels, specifically 3 pieces of paper towel, rice or pebbles, clear plastic cup, 3 plastic cups specifically, tape, food coloring, water, and scissors. So while you guys gather those materials, I'll explain the science behind it. So biology is the study of life, and plants are a very important part of it because they are living organisms just like us. Plants require a lot of water, but unfortunately, they can't go get their own water like we can. They rely on these special structures called roots to pull water for them. Roots have structures called xylem and phlegm as well. The xylem is the specialized tissue of vascular plants that transports water and nutrients from the plant. The phlegm carries food downward from the leaves to the roots. The roots pull up water and give it to the entire plant. In our experiment, the rice will be the soil, the rice or the pebbles will be the soil of the plant, and the paper towel will act as the root that pulls up the water. All right, so now we're ready to begin. All right. So I've got my bag with my 3 paper towels, our 3 cups, and you'll also need some water. All right. Now the first thing you want to do, and before I begin, I'm going to say, please tell me if I'm going too fast, type in the chat, or if you need me to re-explain a step, or just explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'll explain as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my paper towel, and I'm going to roll it long ways like this. Bam. And then what you're going to do is tape it right there along the side. And we're going to have 3 different types of roots to kind of compare and contrast how the water flows through each type of root that we make, to kind of demonstrate how plants get their nutrients and water from the roots that are in the ground and the different types of roots that they have. All right. So this is my first root. Add another little piece of tape on the end. All right. Then I'm going to take my second paper towel and do the exact same thing. I'm going to roll it like that. and then tape. All right. But for this particular root, instead of just leaving it whole like this, we're going to cut it a little bit and shred it into strips. This will represent a fibrous root versus the first root, which is whole. This is going to be the tap root. Because different roots serve different functions and purposes for the plants. They're each specialized to do certain roles to ensure that the plant can live and continue prospering. All right, so now I'm going to make this into a fibrous root by using my scissors. And making some cuts all throughout. Like that on both ends of my root or paper towel. All right. I'll make the cut a little longer. All right. Hi, we need a little time. Oh, of course, I'll slow down. I'll take a break. All right. And while we wait for you guys to catch up, I'll grab my water. All right. Are you guys still getting your roots together? Okay. So the first thing I did was I made my first root by simply rolling up my paper towel, which kind of illustrates my tap root. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Root 12. So, right. So the first root we have is the whole one. And then the second root, I rolled up the exact same way and then made little cuts. Okay, I'll continue. And then for our third root, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the first, but we're going to cut it in half. All right. So I'm rolling it. Ooh. Right. So we know that in real life, the roots look much different. And since plants require a lot of water, if you were to ever like dig up a plant out of the ground, you would notice there are many, many roots that connect to the plant. And like I said, the different roots have different functions. So some are responsible for ensuring that the plant is like stable. Some are more responsible for nutrients, water, and growth, of course, because plants need to grow. All right. And what I'm going to do with my third one is I'm just going to cut it in half. Like that. All right. So here are my three roots. I've got one whole root. That's my tap root. This is my fibrous root. And then this one is what would be no root. The one that's in half. And then next, I'm going to fill up my cups. My first 2 cups with, I'll put rice in my first cup. So if you guys have rice or pebbles or anything similar at home, you can use that. This is going to serve as the soil of the plant. So that's my rice. And then I'm gonna put pebbles in my second cup. So far, is everyone doing good? All right. Oh, they only have 1 cup in their kits. Oh, do you guys have any cups at home you can use? Okay. If not, if it's 12 of you guys together, yeah, maybe not for 12. So maybe what you can do is have 3 or 4 people do 1 root, like 1 whole root in their cup. And then maybe 4 other people are going to do it with the fibrous root that's shredded. And then the other 4 can do it with the one that's no root in their like 1 cup. And then you guys can kind of see and compare. Is that good? We have some cups. Okay, good. Good. So I've just put rice in my 1 cup, pebbles in my other cup. And then in my 3rd cup, I'm going to fill with the rest of my rice. Okay, you're at camp. I'll give you a second. All right. So you guys can just let me know in the chat when you're ready for me to move forward to the next step. And this is what we have so far. All right, so the last step, all I did was roll up a paper towel the same way I did the first and then just cut it in half. This will serve as the root that it's not a root. No root at all. So far I have my 3 roots, my whole root, which is the paper towel I rolled up and taped along the side, my second root where I did the same thing, but then created cuts on each end to represent the fibrous root. Third, I did the same as the first one, but cut it in half, and then just filled 2 cups with rice and this cup with rocks. But if you guys don't have any rocks or ice, use something similar at home or whatever you have. And for the next step, we're going to be making green food coloring. So if you have a separate extra cup, you might want to use to mix the water and the food coloring. All right, and I'm going to grab my cup. A cup. Thank you. All right. So you guys ready for me to move to the next step? This part, we're just going to be making our green water. All right. So now I'm just going to pour some water into a cup with green food coloring. All right. And you guys can go ahead and stick your paper towels into your cups. For those of you who are at the camp with 12, like I said earlier, maybe 4 of you can do 1 cup, like 4 of you can just do a whole root, 4 of you can do the fibrous root that's shredded, and the other 4 can do the one that's no root, if you guys don't have any extra cups for each person to do 3. All right. If my paper towels will stay. All right. So what I'm going to do next is pour my green food coloring solution into my cup, but I'm going to avoid pouring it onto the paper towel exactly and just pour it into the cup. All right, you guys can see. And you can already see a little bit. We found enough cups. Oh, good. So everybody can see the difference with their 3 cups. So right now I'm just pouring my green food coloring and water solution into cup. My first cup that had my taproot. And what we're trying to observe is the way that the entire root will soon become filled with the green water. So we're doing this activity first because we're going to put it to the side once we're finished so we can see just how long it took for the entire plant or root, the entire root to become saturated with the water. And the differences between the saturation of the paper towel in the one that's shredded, the one that's not shredded, and the one that's in half. All right. So right now I'm pouring it into the one with rocks. Okay. And lastly, I have this is going to be no root, very, very small. And remember to pour it to the rice, trying not to get it on the paper towel. Oop. All right. So this is what we have so far. You guys can tell me if you're there, if you need a minute, or if you have any questions about a step you want me to re-explain. All right, so you can already see, right, looking at our whole root, the tap root, how quickly the water is spreading up the paper towel, and also with the one that's no root, of course, because it's much shorter. And the difference with the rock one, right? And how it's shredded on the end, the fibrous root. So we're going to put this one to the side and come back to it once we finished our marshmallow teeth activity, because then we should be able to see just how long it took for the water to come up the paper towel and the difference between each root and its saturation. Is everyone good? All right. So I'm just going to put my roots to the side and get out my marshmallow teeth activity. I know there are many of you on here and at a camp, so I'll take my time so that you guys can get ready for the next activity. All right. All right. So this next activity is also going to be fairly simple, the marshmallow teeth model, where we're going to learn a little bit more about our teeth. All right, so what you'll need: pink and red construction paper, 2 flashcards, a pair of scissors, 32 mini marshmallows, glue, and pen. If you don't have any glue, you can also use icing, because then if you use icing, you can eat your marshmallows after. But of course, if you use glue, you won't be able to eat the marshmallows, unfortunately. So while you gather those things and put away the root science activity, I'll read the science behind this one. So biologists study the science of life, and the human body is part of that. Your teeth are such an important part of your body, and it's important that you take care of them. Bacteria can build up on your teeth and cause plaque. Plaque is a sticky layer of bacteria that can cause gingivitis. It is important to get rid of this plaque through brushing. This model helps you learn more about your teeth and what each tooth is called. Your teeth are actually bones, and when we are born, we only have 20 teeth. And eventually, this number grows into 32 teeth by adulthood. So that's why we're going to have 32 mini marshmallows, because we're going to be making adult teeth. But if you want, since you're at home, you can make 20 teeth to be the teeth that you have, or as many teeth that you have in your mouth. All right. So now we're ready for the activity. The first thing you want to do is take out your 2 pieces of construction paper. Before I begin cutting the construction paper, is everybody on the same page, same steps? We're ready to go? All right, I'll take that as a yes. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is fold. Oh, all right, I got you. I'll slow down. Mm-hmm. All right, so while we wait, once again, we're gonna be making a model of your teeth. We mentioned when you're an adult, you have 32 teeth, but when you're a child or when you're first born, you have 20 teeth. And of course, as your teeth fall out, you get adult teeth. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the bacteria and the different things that involve teeth, like braces, cavities, and things of that, which all are relevant to biology. Because once again, biology studies all living things. And when you guys are ready for me to continue, you can just say in the chat. Go. All right. Javen's good. Are the people with 12 campers, are they ready? Continue. Good. All right. So I've got my construction paper, and the first thing I'm going to do is fold it long ways, or hot dog, as they say in school, and make a crease like that. And then once I folded it that way, I'm going to fold it hamburger style this way. Oh, actually, before I do that, oh, did we lose connection? Hello? Okay, the television just went off. Okay. Okay, good. So all I'm doing is cutting along the fold that I made after I folded my construction paper long ways, or hot dog style. So I have 2 pieces of paper still here. Okay, good. Fold this one, hamburger. All right, we're good. All right. So once again, in case you guys lost connection, we can't see. All right. So what I did was I folded my construction paper long ways like this, and then I cut along the crease that I made so that I just have this half. And then I folded it like this. So I have this piece. And what I'm going to do next is cut the corners to make it into an oval-like shape. Because this is going to serve as like our mouths, the roof of our mouths, our jaw. And whatnot. So that when you open it, oop, I think I cut along the wrong side. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I messed up on mine. I cut along the wrong side. You don't want to cut that part. Just gonna cut the corners and make that oval. That's why it's good to have 2 pieces. Is that red or pink? This is the red one. But we're gonna do the exact same thing with the pink one. So if you've already began on your pink paper, that's okay too. Because it's gonna be the same. The pink is gonna be the tongue, so it's just gonna be a little bit smaller, of course. All right. So that when you open, this is what you should have. It may be a little bit more rounded. It should be similar to like an oval shape, an oval-like shape. All right. All right, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing with my pink piece of paper. I'm gonna fold it long ways, vertical, like that. And cut along the crease that I've made. All right. And then I'm gonna fold it this way and cut the corners to get the oval shape. But this time it's gonna be much smaller because this is the tongue. And we know our tongues aren't this big. All right, make it a little bit smaller. Oh, my 2 pieces cut again. That's okay. That's why we have 2 pieces of paper. So just be careful as you're rounding out your edges on the corners because you may end up cutting the whole thing through like I have. So it may not be able to be as small as we would like, but we'll still get the picture. All right. So far, is everyone doing good? All right. That's going to be my tongue. All right. So far, this is what you should have. The red will serve as your mouth, and the pink will be the tongue. Our model is going to be like a model of your mouth completely open. So what's on this side is going to be the exact same as this side as far as our teeth and the other structures we label. So this is our tongue. I'll make it a little shorter just so it can fit in the mouth. All right. And you can glue it or tape it to your mouth, your red piece of construction paper. All right. And this is what I have so far. The next thing you want to do is get your marshmallows and count out 2 groups of 16. Because like we said, when you're an adult, you have 32 teeth, 16 at the top, 16 at the bottom. 3, so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. But we know not everyone has 32 teeth. Sometimes you may lose an adult tooth, and once you've gotten an adult tooth, it doesn't grow back. So you may just have an empty space, or you may get a cap or a crown, right, when you go to the dentist. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right, so you must have 2 extra marshmallows. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And now what I'm going to do is start gluing my teeth to my mouth. If you've got icing, you can use icing. If you've got liquid glue, or if you've got the good old Elmer's glue, non-liquid, that works as well. All right. So let's see. This is going to be like the back part of the mouth. So this is like your front teeth right here. The first tooth I'm putting are your front teeth. Because imagine if you were to open your mouth, right? That's the idea with this model. So I'm beginning by gluing my front teeth. My front teeth are called incisors, right? So those are these teeth right here. And we know they help you to chew. And you should have 4 incisors, right? You have them on the bottom, all right, and the top. So this is my bottom incisors, and now I'm going to glue my top incisors up here. And it was important, oops, I'm gluing on the tongue. It was important that we added the tongue because your tongue is a very important piece of your mouth, right? Yeah, I noticed, Javen. I was biting the tongue. All right. And like I was mentioning, your tongue is an important part of your mouth because it holds the receptors for taste, all of the things that allow you to enjoy the food that you eat, right? All of those taste buds, sensory receptors, and whatnot. So once again, I've got my 4 incisors on the bottom. This time it's on my jaw, not on my teeth. I mean my tongue. And now I'm going to do my top incisors right here. And bam. All right. Next, I'm going to move to my canine teeth. Anybody want to take a guess which are your canine teeth? Or why they're called canine teeth? All right. And we have 4. 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Your canine teeth are the very sharp, pointy teeth, kind of like dog teeth, or to me, like vampire teeth. Right? So right here, I'm putting my canines. Right? And we all know that the spacing between everyone's teeth is not the same, right? Some people have a lot of space and may need to get braces or not get braces. Or some people's teeth may be a little crowded. And you may have to get some teeth pulled if you've got extra teeth. So everyone's model will look different, which is illustrative of everyone's mouth. So far, I've got my 4 incisors. I've got my my 8 incisors, 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. my 2 canine on the bottom, and my 2 canine on the top. Now we're going to add in the molars, which help you to chew, right? And which give shape really to your jaw. All right. So we've got the incisors, the canine, and we've got the premolars. So these are the premolars that I'm adding right now. Okay. 2, 2, 2. All right. So I'm going to add 4 premolars on each side. And sometimes you may get wisdom teeth, which are those extra teeth that come in at the very back behind your molars. And you may have to get them pulled, or you can live with them if they don't cause you any pain or discomfort. All right. So these are the premolars right now. And it's also so important to floss, right? Because if we've got all of these things in our mouth, we've got teeth, which are bones. We've got our tongue, which is susceptible to bacteria and other things. We have to make sure to floss and brush our teeth so that we don't get any harmful bacteria. All right. Next, I'm going to add my molars. These are the very back teeth. Right. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing to my other side because, like I said, this is like a mouth, so it closes. So what we have on the top is what we have on the bottom. But of course, we know in real life that may not be the case. You may have more teeth on the top or the bottom, depending if you've lost teeth or you still have some baby teeth. All right. So right now I'm just adding my canine teeth on the bottom of my mouth. And like I said, the canine teeth are the very pointy teeth, very sharp. And now after the canine, we have the premolars, which come before the molars, which are on the very back, which allow us to grind our teeth together, to chew, to chomp, and all of those great things we love to do in order to eat. All right. Just going to cut a little bit of my tongue so I can fit my teeth on there. Right. All right. Let's create some space for my teeth. All right. All right. So as we mentioned earlier, when you're a baby, when you first begin, you have 20 teeth. But by the time you reach adulthood, you'll have 32. Right? Similar to how we did the spine activity a couple of weeks ago. When you're born, you have more or less vertebrae, right? Bones. Then as you get older, they break or they fuse actually together to create what we have now. Your teeth do similar things. All right. So I want to say this is my teeth right now. Got my 16 at the top, my 16 at the bottom. And now we're going to use those note cards to label. using the terms that I just mentioned, molars, premolars, incisors, canine, right? So I'm just going to take my flashcards and cut them into four strips to create our labels. So that now whenever we're referencing our teeth or our mouths, we can use the correct terms, right? Our scientific terms. All right, I'm doing the same thing to my other note card. All right, they don't have to be perfect label sizes. All right, so I've got my 8 labels now. I've cut up my note cards, and now I'm just going to label it using those terms. All right. I'm first going to label the bottom teeth, which are our incisors. All right. So I'm going to put that right there and do the same thing for our top teeth. All right. Incisors. All right. Next, I'm going to do a quick label for those canine teeth that we have on both sides of our mouth. All right, you guys can see it. And the canines are those that are right next to your incisors. Like I said, the incisors are like the 4 top and bottom ones at the very front of your mouth. And the canine are very easy to identify, the very pointy teeth you have right next to the incisors. All right. And then after the incisors, after the canine, we've got premolars. Right. So you've got the incisors here, the canine at the bottom, premolars, and then at the very back, you've got your molars. If you've got some extra teeth glued back there, you can even label them wisdom teeth. On my model, I only have enough for my molars, but we get the picture. But the molars right here, these are both the same thing, both molars, right? Your molar teeth. And I'll just do the same label on this side. All right. The molars are the back teeth. Oh. All right. So you guys can see my labels. Both the top and the bottom are the same. So we've got our 4 incisors right here. We've got our canines on the sides, the pointy teeth, premolars, and then molars in the back. And then if you've got some extra teeth, you'd have some wisdom teeth growing in right here. All right. And that's our marshmallow teeth model. If you guys are interested in this model, or if you're interested in teeth, you can look into dentistry, orthodontics, or anything of that sort. So you guys have any questions for me about this? Ooh. And before we close out, we can check in on our roots. We can see how the water has spread. Paper towel is falling over a little bit, but we can still see, get the idea, right? On our longest taproot, the one that's not cut, it's still got some ways to go, but it's spreading. We see it spread a lot more with the fibrous root that's shred at the bottom, cut at the bottom. And then it spread the most on the shortest, of course, because it had the shortest distance to go as far as the water diffusing through the paper towel. All right. So those were our 2 activities for today. We did the root science and the marshmallow teeth. So please, all right, we've got our questions. What causes the buildup of plaque in your teeth? Is it brushing your teeth every day, water leaving your mouth, or bacteria building up? What do you guys think? What causes plaque? Yeah, you guys are so smart. Bacteria building up. Yeah, that's why it's good to brush your teeth, mouthwash, floss. All of those things. How many teeth do adults have? 206, 20, or 32? It can be a little tricky. All right. Of course, 32, you've got 206 bones in your body, 20 teeth when you're a baby, 32 by adulthood. Right? And lastly, what is the role of xylem and phlegm? Does it change the plant's height? Does it change the plant's color? Or does it transport water and food? What do you guys think? If you look at our root science model, what do you see spreading to our root? What's important? Plant color, plant height, or the plant getting all that it needs to survive? You guys are so smart. Transports water and food, right? Because plants can't just use their hands and go get themselves some food to eat and water to drink like we can. All right. And those were our questions of the day. Do you guys have any questions for me? Please be sure to take pictures of your root science, take pictures of your teeth models, and send them into webinar@stemnola.com. We want to see what you've done so we can post them to our site. And be sure to tune in next Thursday, July 29th at this same time, 1 p.m. We're going to be doing simple machines, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be really exciting. All right. We thank you guys for joining today.